Hello, Year 3. Hello. Hi, Mr. Huxley here. Hello. Hi, I'm going to introduce the computing module for this half term. So we'll start it at school and see where we go from there. So at least the first two lessons will be online, so which is perfect because we're going to be vloggers. So you might be thinking, what's a vlogger? Last term I was a presenter where you did your video presenting and you did your shooting. Well, a vlogger, we're going to find out what the vlogger is, but essentially it's where we're going to make and share a short screencast presentation. Now, a screencast presentation is a bit like what I'm doing now, but have a look here. So you're going to have a go basically at doing a presentation and doing some commentary, doing a voiceover for that presentation. You don't need your face, it's just doing your voice. So just give you a little introduction today on what we're going to be doing this half term. And then the first lesson today is going to be number 1 there. Research information we're going to present. Now, that's not just going to be normal research techniques. So it's not just going to be looking into books. It's going to be researching it online on the web. So I'm going to demonstrate an easy way to do that if you haven't done it before. And you're going to try and come away from today with an understanding of when you search, particularly when you search on Google, when you search on the web, what is actually happening in the background. What are you searching? We're going to very high level top view of that, but you're going to have a go. So throughout this unit, we're going to try and cover all this. So today, this is going to be like lessons 1 to 6 anyway, all the way to Easter. So research the information we're going to present. I'm going to talk to you about what that's going to be, what information we're going to research. Number 2, you're going to plan your presentation. Then you're going to find the content to include in your presentation. 4, create the content to include in your presentation. So all these are very linked as well. Practice it and record your presentation, share it with others. So we can mix a lot of those together. So I think it's really cool. It's a really good one to be doing remotely as well. So going back here, it says making and sharing a short screencast presentation. So what does that mean? So it's not really a word that I come across a lot, screencast. But it's here for something we need to cover. But it's something that you're very, 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 very used to, because I am essentially doing one now, aren't I? So it says over here, a screencast presentation is a video capture of a presentation with a voiceover. Here is my presentation at the moment, isn't it? My presentation is on computing and what we are learning, and I am doing a voiceover. You've also got my face down here, but I can turn my face off, and it's just my voiceover. So there are quite a few links in today's lesson, and I really, really would take the time out to click on these links, so you can access these all through the PDF attached. So click on that link there, and it will explain to you what if I click on here, might work. What a screencast presentation is. But essentially that there is a screenshot from that presentation there. It's a really short video, that one, 1.5 minutes. A video capture of a presentation with a voiceover. And that's what we're doing now. So I thought now what I might do is turn my face off. Bye! But you can still hear me. So I am doing a voiceover of my presentation. And that's what you're going to be doing. So today it's about the research. Week 1, we will research the information you want to present. So we're going to come back to this this diagram. So how to make it's like tips for making our presentation effective, for making it interesting, making listeners understand, making them helping listeners and viewers learn information. So today there's lots of things here. Here's a presentation. Here's the old way of doing a presentation, just on a whiteboard. Somebody standing up there, pointing at the pictures. You've seen that lots of times in school, haven't you? Be it in assembly or teacher in the classroom. But around the outside here, we're going to over each week keep coming back and looking at these. So I'm not going to have a look at any of these apart from we are going to focus on this one here. So we are going to look at our presentation, or your presentation rather, is going to be on earthquakes and volcanoes. Reason is, in geography, you may notice, because hopefully if you look at this, watching this video on Friday, you will have seen Tuesday's geography, where Miss Porter introduced this half-term's topic of active planet. And part of the active planet, the bit that makes it active, are earthquakes and volcanoes. So that is the topic that you are going to research and present in a screencast, okay? But obviously, at the moment, you don't really know an awful lot about earthquakes and volcanoes. You might know a little bit, but I'm just going to make the assumption that lots of you don't know an awful lot about earthquakes and volcanoes. So we need to know our subject down here to make our presentation effective. We're not going to make things up about earthquakes and volcanoes. This computing learning for this half term isn't just about how to do a presentation. It's about how to find the information out as well. So know our subject, that's what we're looking at now. So we're going to search, our stickman searching for information for our topic. And how are we going to do that? Step number one, researching the topic. And that's what we're going to spend a bit of time doing now. So are you sat comfortably? So, how do searches work on the web? Or how do searches on the web work? Please, could you stop the video now and have a look at these two presentations here? They're very short. That was only a minute and a half long. That's about 2 minutes long. That guy is actually a guy from Google, and he explains how searches work on Google. So watch that, because at the end of this presentation, I have a slide where I summarize what he explains. Basically, what he explains on here, though, he's talking about actually when you go to Google, which we're going to do in a minute, we all think of Google as a search engine, when essentially it is a search engine, but when you search something on Google, it's not going and finding and going on the web and looking at every single web page there is. It's looking at an index that Google use. So Google have already done that work for us. They've already got an index. You know, like an index on the back of an information book. They've already got that index there, where they've already gathered the web pages for us. So, which means it's a lot quicker. So when we're doing a search on Google, we are really essentially searching an index on Google. So in a minute, when we're going to type in volcanoes and earthquakes. It's not searching the whole of the entire web for this information. It's just looking at the Google's index. And he explains that really well on here. Okay, so please look at that. And this was also another version from BBC Bite Size of how internet searches work. So watch both of those. So pause the video, watch both of those, and then come back. Okay. Hi. So hopefully you've looked at those two to get a little bit of understanding. Like I say, at the end of my presentation here, I do have a slide where I kind of go over that again. I want to see how much you remember. And then next week, before lesson 2, we'll do a little run through that to see if you can remember. Okay, so step 1 is researching the topic. So I've taken this. This is from Google Classrooms. It's from Tuesday's geography lesson. If you did it, thank you very much. And if you didn't, that's fine. It's Tuesday's geography lesson, where it says this half term, our geography topic is called Active Planet. We are going to be looking at volcanoes and earthquakes. We will look at where you find volcanoes, the effects volcanoes can have on a country. We will also look at earthquakes and where they happen. So let's link it in with geography. Let's link in this presentation, our screencast, with geography. So perfect. So let's use our Google Internet searching skills. Have a go. So in a minute, we're going to break out. So let's have a look. I'm going to show you. So in a minute, I'm going to break out the presentation, go to Google, and I'm going to have a look at these 3 things here. So look, if we pick out there, we will look at where you find volcanoes. We will look at the effects volcanoes have on a country. We will also look at earthquakes and where they happen. So now I thought, if I just look at where volcanoes are located. So where do I find them? So as we come back, okay, let's go back over here. So where do I find them? So I'm going to go over here on my browser here and go to new tab, and I've got Chrome up on here. So Google rather. So if you don't have Google, you can just go to www.google.com. Takes you there, and we're back there again. Okay, so in the search bar, so not in the address bar up here, in the search bar on Google here. So it's already come up with my history of what I've looked at already. But I'm going to type in here, where are volcanoes located? Hit return. And you see it's giving me results. So that was really quick, wasn't it? That came back really quick. So I typed it in, hit return, and I've come back. It's got all these things I can look at. So basically, this is a list. Here's a list of different websites I could look at. I could look at that one. I can look at this one. And this is the title of the article that, if I click on it, that is the title of the web page. So if I look at the first one here, where are volcanoes located? There they are. So what is a volcano? I can look at them here. I can look at that there. So if I want to go back, come back to here. So these are lots and lots of resources. 10 active volcanoes. I can click on that. It could give me a list of the 10 active volcanoes. If I wanted to make it a bit more child friendly, because don't forget, adults use the internet a lot, obviously, and you might get like an A-level student doing geography, and he or she might be looking at where volcanoes are located. So if you type in for kids at the end, or for children, it comes back with a few more websites that are designed for children. Like here, primary homework and the school run. So these are kind of might be a bit more friendly for you to use. Also, did you know? Check on your Google here. You got a search bar here. Check you have a microphone there. And when I click that, I'm going to say something, and hopefully it will work. Okay. Hey Google, where are the world's most active volcanoes? Oh, I'm going to do it again. Ready? Where are the world's most active volcanoes? And it's done it for me.
Here's a summary from Volcano Discovery.
There you go.
Kilauea volcano on Hawaii is the world's most active volcano, followed by Etna in Italy and Piton de la Fournaise.
There you go. So rather than typing it out, if you find typing tricky, in the Google search bar, not the address bar, the Google search bar, you click on there, can you? What else could I ask? I could say, what can I say? What is the most active volcano on the planet? There you go.
Mauna Loa. According to usgs.gov, rising gradually to more than 4 kilometers above sea level, Hawaii's Mauna Loa is the largest active volcano on our planet.
Cool. It's a good fact, isn't it? I did not know that. So that's really good. So there's my fact. So you could use it that way. Okay. So I'm just going to step back to here. Okay. Bring this back here, presentation. What else I want to show you here? So basically, in a minute, when you stop watching this, you can go off and you can Google some facts about volcanoes and earthquakes. Now, I'm going to talk to you in a second about how you're going to present that, where you're going to capture that. But a couple of things I want to show you. Out of interest, hopefully your Google search engine will have something here called Safe Search switched on. If I go back to my Google here, Safe Search switched on. What is Safe Search? Because, like I said, adults use the internet too, obviously. Google Safe Search is an automated filter for inappropriate material, keeping you safe on the web. So if that's turned on, like mine is there, it's all about keeping you safe to make sure you don't see anything that will make you feel uncomfortable or is inappropriate for you. Okay, so it's worth checking with your grown-up and say, hey, have I got Google Safe Search switched on? Okay, so I'll go back to here. So what I'm going to say, so have a play here. So you could type in the Google search engine here. You can do the voice there, and you can come back. Just keep scrolling down here. So if I do another one just to show you, click on here, go to Google. Where are the volcanoes located? Where are the volcanoes? Click on that. 6% of all active volcanoes occur at the boundaries between tectonic plates. What are tectonic plates? You could go further and say, what's a tectonic plate? Most volcanoes are found along a belt called the Ring of Fire. Yeah, that's a really good fact, that is, in Hawaii. So I would like you today to just have a practice Googling information about volcanoes and earthquakes. Go back to here and think about what I said we're looking at in geography, active planet. So it makes sense to research things we're going to be doing in geography, doesn't it? So I was thinking, what would be a good way for you to capture your research? So I thought, if you go to Google Classrooms, you will find on Google Classrooms a document called a Jamboard here. A jamboard.google.com. It will open up. If you click on it, it will open up. You'll all have your own copy. It's a bit like a Word document, a bit like a PowerPoint, but you'll see it's basically it's like a very basic whiteboard. And what you can do, so you're going to have this. This is what it will look like for you. And when you come up across a fact, so what was the fact I want to put in? Let's go for that one. Mauna Loa is the largest active volcano on our planet. So I'm actually be cheeky and I'm going to copy that. If it'll let me. Oh, no, I might have to type it in. I'm going to try and copy. But, so you go to your Jamboard, which you will find. And I'd like you to use on your Jamboard. The fourth thing down here is a sticky note. So not a pen, not an eraser, not a selecting arrow. A sticky note. Click on that. Oh, look. I'm going to copy it in there. So you just type it in there. Why is Mauna Loa is the largest active volcano on our planet? I'm going to change that to green. Save it. And cancel that. And add a sticky note here. And I can move that around here anywhere I like. So this is like your own little whiteboard. So every time you come up with a fact, stick it here on a sticky note. Okay, let's have a look for another one. The most active volcano. We said here about where they are located, didn't we? Most of the world's active volcanoes are found on a ring of fire. So I'm going to copy that as well. Let's have a look. Go back to my Jamboard. I'll go to my sticky note here and paste it in there. And I'm going to change that to pink, like that. Cancel it so I can come back to here. Can't really see that, so I'm going to drag it a bit bigger. Look at that. So why don't you try and populate this with facts about volcanoes and earthquakes? This is just the practice. It's not your presentation. This is just the practice researching. But we could use this information at a later date. It would make sense to, wouldn't it? So let's put some good things in here, okay? Okay, so let's go back. So, here we come. So you're going to go off. You're going to think about the questions that you can research on our topic. You're going to go to Google. You're going to present them on your sticky notes to your Jamboard. Okay, oops, back again. Okay, and that's your activity for today. So there's a lot going on there. So you're learning a couple of things. You're learning how search engines work, particularly the Google search engine. So on the last slide here, I'm going to talk to you about that. This is how I understand it. So that's one thing we've done today. And also, I've shown you a neat way for you to capture the information that you research using the Jamboard. How cool is that? So, and then once you've done that Jamboard, it will be there on Google Classrooms in your name. So your teacher can just open that up like when you hand it in, like a piece of work handed in, like a Google Doc. Okay, so next week, let's have a look. Number 2, plan the structure of our presentation. Obviously, so you're going to come up with loads of research today on your Jamboard. So how are we going to take that and present it and turn it into a presentation? That's actually quite tricky, isn't it? Okay, so before you go, I want to make sure you had a good think and you understood those 2 videos about how search engines work. So what I'm trying to show here is when you do a search on Google, like we just did there, when you type in the words, you hit enter, you're telling Google, don't forget, Google is just a web page, just a page on your browser. You're asking to search the web, the internet. So you say search for where volcanoes are located, but it doesn't actually go off onto the internet and do a search of every single website. It goes to its index. So Google's got an index, like a big kind of library, thousands of web pages that is indexed, like the index at the back of an information book, that it then pops up and feeds back to. Should we now go back that way? Feeds back to you straight away. It doesn't actually go onto the internet. So how does the Google index know about the information that you've asked it? Well, in the background, some software on Google called crawlers or spiders, depending on who you talk to, they are constantly searching the web. So think of the web like a spider's web. The web, the internet is like just a group, or we would call it a network, a group of all the web pages all connected together, all physically connected together. So there's a clever way how to, if we have to search for those, it will take ages. So to enable a quick search, Google's already created its index for us. So I'm going to have another think about how web searches work. So beginning of next lesson, lesson 2, we'll do a recap on how search engines work. Okay, there's a lot to take in there. Go and watch those couple of videos again. Good searching on the web for content, and good luck saving it and keeping your research on Jamboard. I look forward to looking at those. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.